Yo, today is January 6th. It's day 2, and dude, it's 2026. I still can't get over it's 2026. We're on pages 14 and 15. It's the book club, and it's day 2, so we're probably going to learn more about our author of the book, The 909 Project.
没错，我们今天要继续介绍我们好书俱乐部。我们这次要介绍的主题呢是《街拍9.09分》这本书。我们昨天简单的介绍一下我们的主角叫做 Jameson， 然后他呢妈妈呢走了2年之后呢，他开始要说开始有点忘记妈妈的生日，于是他开启了这个计划，每天9.09分的时候，在一个街角，然后去拍他所看到的这个街上的这个人，他不会特别去挑任何什么长得特别帅、特别美，而是挑平凡人去拍。在这个过程当中，他有机会有不同的视角去看待其他人他的生活。慢慢的，他交了新朋友，也呢开始跟以前比较疏远的朋友呢有了重新的连结，然后改善了他跟他这个爸爸还有他妹妹的关系。所以我们今天要继续介绍这本书，然后我们去讲一下跟作者有关的资讯。
All right, well, with that, let's hear our story, and we'll be right back.
The 909 Project. The 909 Project is more than just a story because it reflects the real-life experiences of its author, Mark Parsons. Like Jameson, the book's main character, Parsons has synesthesia. This is a condition in which the brain mixes senses together. For example, someone with synesthesia might see colors when they hear music, or link certain colors to numbers or letters. Parsons experiences a type called grapheme color synesthesia, one of the most common forms. This means that when he sees letters, numbers, or days of the week, he also sees them in specific colors. It's not a disease, but simply how his brain works. In fact, he didn't even realize it was unusual until he was older. Living with synesthesia helped Parsons create a more realistic character. The 909 Project is not a book about synesthesia. It's about a young boy who happens to have it. The condition adds a small but meaningful depth to Jameson's emotions and his connection with his mother. Parsons didn't want readers to focus on synesthesia, since it is only one part of a much larger story about grief, healing, and the power of art. Still, its edition offers a unique lens through which Jameson views the world.
So, Anthony, I wanted to begin today asking you about taking photos and photography because we didn't talk about it yesterday. Did you ever go through a period in your life where you were really interested in photography?
Yeah, I did. 我之前的时候好像在大学吧，我觉得
Me too.
Yeah, that's right. 我会特别喜欢看一些那种比方说咖啡厅在那边可能看书的人们，就是看到说I was interested in people watching.
Interesting. Yeah. And did you like taking the photos, or were you more of a person just enjoying photographs?
我觉得那个时候好像比较是想要把那个我看到的感觉把它照下来。Yeah.
That's interesting. So I also in college really liked taking photographs. In fact, I was the school magazine's assistant editor for photography, and I just walked around every day with a camera. I didn't like taking pictures of people.
Okay.
I like taking pictures of things, and I would find weird things to take photos. That's interesting that you like the people and I like the things.
Yeah.
And today I really love going to photo exhibitions, like photo shows. I love still going to those. So how about you guys? Today you always have a camera in your pocket. It should be really easy, but I don't know, I like taking photos less with my cell phone, even though the pictures are better.
Is
that weird?
Yeah，
How
好
about
奇
you
怪
guys？ Yeah.
好像拿着相机去拍，跟拿手机去拍的那种感觉不太一样。而且以前我们的相机是用那个底片的，你真的要抓准那一刻拍，不然说像现在这个一拍要删掉，然后还要这样咔咔咔咔这样卷的。你知道那种经验，如果你想要体会的话，或许可以跟爸爸妈妈问一下，他们还没有保有那种老相机，是装底片，然后要卷，咔，然后照一张，有的时候你会洗出来就发现到好几张都照坏了。
I remember when I was the photography, like I was the assistant editor, we had to make a big decision. Do we use these new digital cameras or do we keep our dark room and we have to use the chemicals and like
Yeah.
I'm old, man.
Oh no.
The 909 Project is more than just a story because it reflects the real life experiences of its author, Mark Parsons. And how often do we read this? That the author writes a book that kind of reflects their real life experiences. It's something they understand very deeply, so they can write a lot of details about the story.
没有错。所以我们来看一下这一段的第一句话，他说 The 909 Project 这本书呢 is more than just a story， 不只是一个故事而已哦。Because it reflects the real life experiences of its author， 因为它反映了我们这个书的作者 Mark Parsons 他的人生的这种经验，真实的生活经验，这个叫做 the real life experiences。
All right. Like Jameson, the book's main character, Parsons has synesthesia. Let's say that again. Synesthesia. Okay, pick up your pencil. S-Y-N. Syn means together or with. And then 后面, S-I-A. And this is Greek. And it means like a state or condition. 通常是病毒的关系, but not always. Okay? And it's synesthesia.
没错，所以在这里的话，你会看到这个是 synesthesia， 就是我们说的联觉。好，也变成是说，有些人他们听到音乐的时候会看到颜色，他的这个感官本身是重叠的，所以他就说了 ，like Jameson， 就像我们书中的主角 Jameson 一样 ，the book's main character， 他就是书中的主角。Parsons， 我们的作者呢 has synesthesia， 好，就是他也有联觉的这种状况。
And this is a condition in which the brain mixes senses together. Your senses are like sight, hearing, taste, feeling, and what's the one I'm missing?
Touching, I mean.
I touch, feeling.
Feeling,
Feeling, tasting, smelling.
Smelling, yes,
smelling.
yes.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. So your brain mixes the senses together. You totally understand this. What is the color of sadness? Blue. And what is the saddest day of the week? Monday. So people talk about Blue Monday. Why is Monday blue? Because it's sad. But why is sad blue? 就是这样子了，好不好? Everyone's sad on Monday, so we call it Blue Monday. Everybody kind of understands this a little, but people with synesthesia have a lot more of it.
Yeah， 没错，所以你慢慢可以了解到说，好像我们生活当中也有一些连结是结合颜色的啦，或日期的啦等等，在这边的话也差不多是这种感觉，只是他们的感觉更加的强烈，是实际的这种感官的感受。所以他就说了 ，This is a condition， 这是一种状况或是状态 ，in which the brain mixes senses together。好，你发现到感官的这种经验会被混在一起的这种状态。
That's right. For example, someone with synesthesia might see colors when they hear music or link certain colors to numbers or letters. And they see the numbers and letters in these colors. It's just something they do. Lots and lots and lots of very famous musicians have at least a little bit of synesthesia, and they're pretty famous for it. That's why we have music called the blues. Maybe you've heard of it. It's really sad music. It's blue music. Where did that come from? Just some dude that had synesthesia.
Yeah， 没有错。所以在这边的话，你看到这句话，他说 ，For example， 举例来说 ，someone with synesthesia might see colors。好，还有联觉这种状况的人呢，有机会 might see colors when they hear music。听到音乐的时候会看到哇，我看到五彩缤纷的颜色 ，or link certain colors to numbers or letters， 还有或者有时候会把某些颜色跟数字啦或字母联想在一起。然后老师刚刚提到说，非常非常多的，尤其是那种音乐家，好，可能像你听过 The Blues， 好，就指的就是 一种这个音乐的流派，对不对？然后蓝调，那为什么会想到是蓝色的呢？说不定就是因为在最开始的时候有一个联觉人，然后呢，他就发觉到哇，这个音乐一出来的时候，他就想到蓝蓝的颜色，所以他叫它蓝调。
All right, with that, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we got paragraph 2.
2。
Hey friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. It's January 6th. We're on day 2 of the book club, and that's on pages 14 and 15. Our author, Parsons, experiences a type called grapheme color synesthesia, one of the most common forms. And this means that when he sees letters, numbers, or days of the week, he also sees them in specific colors. So he sees this letter or number and he's like, oh, bro, that is such an orange letter. And you're like, what? What did you just say?
没有错，没有错。如果身旁如果有这种人，就说哇塞，天哪！比方说今天如果你看到这个数字，我说哇，这个数字真的有够橘色的感觉。然后你在说你到底在说什么？听不懂啊，什么东西啊？哈，如果身边有这种联觉人，一定很酷哦。所以我们来看这一句话哦，他说 Parsons experienced a type called grapheme color synesthesia， 它呢是属于一种字味跟颜色的这种联觉。那 one of the most common forms， 也就是这也是最常看到的一种联觉的形态哦。This means that when he sees letters, numbers, or days of the week， 不管是提到说啊字母啦、数字啦、星期1、2、3、4、5啦 ，he also sees them in specific colors。他也会看到特定的 specific， 这个是一个很重要的形容词，也会看到它每一个对应到的这个特定的颜色。
Okay, so specific means very clear. The opposite of specific is, what is the opposite of specific?
Vague.
Vague. Why did I forget that? V-A-D-U-G. Vague means unclear, and the opposite of vague is specific. 还好有 Anthony.
哦，好险啊。
还好你来了。It's not a disease, but simply how his brain works. And I think this is a good sentence here, because when we see that S-I-A at the end of synesthesia, remember in Greek, it means like a state or a condition, 你的状况, but it feels like in a lot of words that are about sicknesses. So like, oh, this man is sick. But no, it's not a disease. It's just his brain has these unusual links and connections that not everybody has.
没错，所以在这里的话，这个我们看到 ia 结尾的这种拉丁的这种字根希腊字根，它多半会有一种情况，就想到它跟病有关。我第一个想到不是病的，就是 nostalgia。
Yeah.
nostalgia 就是那种怀旧的情绪 ，it's more like a feeling or a special condition。所以在这边这个地方他说 ，it's not a disease， 它可不是一种病哦。But simply how his brain works， 只是他这种脑子运作的一种方式而已。
In fact, he didn't even realize it was unusual until he was older because he was born this way. And it's like, oh, you don't do that? You kind of have to learn about it because you're talking about it and other people think you're weird. Like, what did you just say? That's an orange letter? It's black. What are you talking about? Dude, it's so orange. And you're like, and your friends are like, bro, what? That's how you learn about these things.
没有错。所以在这里的话，他就告诉你说 ，in fact, he didn't even realize it。他甚至都还没有意识到说，哎，奇怪，其他人看的跟我是不一样的。所以他说 it was unusual until he was older。所以很显然的就是，如果我现在看到的某一个字。我之前看过一个那个 TED Talk， 它里面讲到是 Daniel Tammet， 一个非常非常厉害的一个语言学家，他也是数学家。总之呢，你有机会你可以去查一下。他说他看到这个 L， 他会想到蓝色的。好，比方说今天 Lolita or Lolita。The light of my life， 它这几个字有 L 开头，他就看到蓝色的东西。你可以上去 TED Talk 去找一下 Daniel Tammet， 他的 Tammet 是 T-A-M-M-E-T， 你就看到他这个演讲里面发现到说，哦，他看到一些字词的时候，他很容易可以发现 alliteration 这种押头韵的情况。
So I learned that, and actually we never had this discussion. So some people in their heads, they can hear that voice. Like you can talk to yourself in your head. And you can do that, right?
Yeah.
Some people don't have that voice in their head. And if I say, think of a blue apple, in your mind, can you see the blue apple?
Yeah.
Some people can't do that.
Wow.
And you can say, okay, now take the blue apple and turn it in your head so you can look down at it. And then take the apple and flip it so you can see the bottom. Some people can't do that.
Oh.
And I only learned that as an adult because I was like, well, of course you can do that. Everybody can do that. But I'm not in your head and you're not in my head. So is anyone listening here? You don't have the voice in your head or you can't see the blue apple. How do you see things in how do you imagine things, right?
没错，所以老师有提到说，大部分人他可能就听到自己脑中的声音，比方说今天，我觉得 Chris 他这个地方讲的真的太好了，然后我在脑中想的时候，他可能也听到自己的这个声音，对不对？哈，但是有些人他是听不到自己他脑中的这些念头， 或者是他没有办法去想象说，来帮我想一个蓝色的苹果，好，你现在把这个苹果翻过来，你从正上方看它。好，你把它翻过来，然后从下方看它。有的人他没有办法在脑中做这样的事情，然后老师是说他是到后面才晓得说，我以为大家都做得到，所以很多时候是这种个人的经验，我们会以为是大家都一样，但事实上并非如此。
And then you cut it open and it's an orange on the inside. You can see it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, some people can't do that. Very interesting. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a quick break and when we come back, we got paragraph 3. Okay, friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We're on pages 14 and 15. It's the book club. It's day 2. We're learning about our author, Mark Parsons. And like Jameson, the main character in the 909 Club, Parsons has synesthesia. So he has something called grapheme color synesthesia. He sees letters and days of the weeks, and they're like special colors. They're not like just black on the page. There's some color, and he sees them in his mind as a specific color. So let's learn more. Living with synesthesia helped Parsons create a more realistic character.
好，我们来看这一段的第一句话，说 living with synesthesia， 就是他刚好有这样子联觉的能力，能够帮助他 helped Parsons create a more realistic character， 能帮助他塑造出一个更逼真的、更写实的人物。
Okay, let's highlight or underline our verb helped. Because this is our verb, we know everything in front of it is the subject. So the subject, 我们主词 in this sentence, is not a person. It's living with synesthesia. We know verbs can't be subjects, so we need to make live into a gerund here. Living with synesthesia. This is the subject because it's all before the verb. So don't say live with synesthesia. That's wrong. The 909 Project is not a book about synesthesia. It's about a young boy who happens to have it. Sort of like, Doraemon is not about robot cat. It's about like a cat that is a robot and they go on adventures. Like the adventure is the point of the story, not
The robot cat.
Yeah.
没错，所以
He's a cat, right?
Yeah. 没错，所以说基本上他就告诉你说，好的 901 Project， 好，这个909 Project 这本书呢 is not a book about synesthesia， 它不是在讲联觉哦，只不过这个主角刚好有联觉的能力而已。好，千万不要把重点放错了。So it's about a young boy who happens to have it。这个 happens to 怎样，就代表就是碰巧刚好的意思，刚好他有联觉的这种情况。
It's not the most important part. Okay? The condition adds a small but meaningful depth to Jameson's emotions and his connection with his mother. So it's this interesting little wrinkle that adds something new to the story.
没错，所以这边他就提到了 the condition adds a small but meaningful depth。好 ，depth 我们刚刚之前就有看过这个字，就本来的意思呢，就是指更深一层的这种深意，好，比较深的这种感觉，就是 deep 它的这个名词形态。好，他说能够增添了 Jameson's emotions and his connection with his mother， 能够增添他这个我们主角 Jameson 的情感，还有他与母亲之间连结，好，增加一点点厚度，增加一点很细微但是很深刻的这种情感在里头。
So remember, the whole reason Jameson starts to take photographs and study photography is because he was afraid the memories of his mother were slipping away. And how did he want to deal with or work through the pain of his mother dying and passing away? Well, he took those pictures. And so this kind of synesthesia helps add a special connection between him and his mother. And now he has this new perspective on things. And it's, kind of an interesting way to write a story. Parsons didn't want readers to focus on synesthesia since it is only one part of a much larger story about grief, healing, and the power of art. Remember, grief means very deep sadness. Healing means to feel better from like a sickness or some kind of pain.
没错，所以这里面我们看到几个重要的词汇。所以这句话说 ，Parsons didn't want readers to focus on synesthesia。我们没有要读者说，我们来看看联觉这个东西有多棒，因为毕竟联觉怎么样 ？Since it is only one part of a much larger story about grief, healing, and the power of art。它呢，联觉这一块只是这个宏大故事里面的小小的一块。这个大故事在讲些什么呢？主要在讲 grief， 悲伤，healing， 疗愈，就慢慢疗愈的过程 ，and the power of art， 还有艺术它能够治愈人的力量。
Still, its edition offers a unique lens through which Jameson views the world. And there's that word lens from yesterday. We talked about a camera lens, and when it's plural, it's lenses. We should remember that and make sure you write down L-E-N-S-E-S, lenses.
没错，最后这句话就说了 ，Still, its addition， 就增添了这个联觉这个元素呢 ，offers a unique lens through which Jameson views the world。所以在这里的话，我们有机会又看到 lens 这个字，就是镜头，它里面用到很多 depth 或者是 lens 这些跟 photography 有关的词汇。我觉得这篇真的是让我觉得看了很感动。
All right, well, that's it for today. But you know what? Anthony, you got to talk to Stephen a little later this month, right?
Right.
Anthony and I will be back at the end of the month. And interestingly, a lot of these words from the 909 Project, we'll kind of see some of them the next time we see each other at the end of the month with the duck syndrome. So make sure you listen carefully today, take good notes, because you're going to see these words again, and that's really good for review. But until then, for Enjoy English School, I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Anthony.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.